speaking of making deals, we have an update on Uncle Nearest brand.
Yeah, so I seen this article. I didn't know the legitimacy of it, but you corrected me and you showed me.
I mean, I was open to it
Yeah.
being being legitimate. So, Uncle Nearest, if you have not seen it, if you follow the channel, then you definitely have seen us talk
Yeah.
about Fawn Weaver, who is the owner of the Uncle Nearest whiskey brand.
Yep.
And their company is in a receivership right now because they owe, I think it's called Farmers Credit,
Yeah,
uh,
farmer something. Yeah.
$108 million loan that needs to be paid back. And
Yeah.
so, what the receivership's job is to kind of shop around to see what's the best move for the company moving forward. Because at the end of the day, the creditors, they want their money.
Yeah, they want their money, and they don't necessarily um want equity because they're not that type of creditor. If they was like a private equity firm, that'd be different because then they can take it, build it up, and sell it. They're a credit union. They just
Hmm.
want their
They
money.
want
They
their
want their
money.
interest. And they had collateral, but it was fake collateral off the
Right.
false accusation. I mean, the false stamp of approval that the CEO put down, saying they
Hmm.
had $50 and $60 million worth of
Hmm.
barrels. Then it come out they only got 21 million.
Right.
So
And they're
now,
suing the CFO
yeah,
who was the person responsible for making the false collateral claim against alcohol that basically they didn't barrels of alcohol that basically they didn't have. So, this may be good news, you tell me, I'm not sure. An investor group is seeking to buy out Uncle Nearest Whiskey's brand, $108 million loan in an effort to accelerate the sale of the spirits brand,
hmm,
according to uh, a local paper, a local source. So the group is called Next Gen 2780,
yep,
and they're made up of like investors and individuals. Now, supposedly, these investors are supposed to be, like black people. I'm not sure.
yeah,
I think that this is what Fawn has been wanting.
yeah. Maybe she raised the money, like we was talking about that. Like maybe this is like her one of her plays. She raised the money, and because when she go live on Instagram and all that, she always being like John Creeks, Georgia, which is crazy, right? Um,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, she have a place out here in Georgia or whatever, and I hope is that she raised the money and she's trying to buy back the equity because what's going to happen if somebody else buy it, they're going to dilute her shares.
Well,
So
here's the thing. I mean, it doesn't say that like Gen X Investment Group is affiliated with Fawn Weaver or her husband Keith Weaver, but I
mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if maybe these are her friends. Because what I was saying about networking is when you know people in high places, who's to say that they didn't get a couple of their friends together and say, "Hey, basically give me $108 million loan.
Right.
I'm gonna give it back to you."
Hmm.
And so we can get done with this receivership because Fawn has been begging the judge
Yes. Yeah,
to
they've been begging
take.
the judge, and they say it's hurting like the brand. They losing a whole bunch of partnerships. People taking it off the shelves. A lot is going on with that because of the damage control of
Yeah.
y'all in a receivership, which is kind of like y'all heading towards
And the
bankruptcy.
context here is that they're branded as a higher end whiskey brand.
Yes.
It's a very specific distilling process
Yeah.
to make this type of whiskey. So if you're going through all of these financial burdens, all of these financial burdens or financial problems, and you want to be in higher end stores and you want to charge whatever price to all of these higher end people, are they necessarily going to want the whiskey brand that is going through potential bankruptcy,
Yeah.
potential so they want to speed up this sale because I think that way they can get the receivership out of here because now that the loan is paid and they owe me, you ain't got to worry about it. And then it gives Fawn and her husband, her husband's actual name is Keith too. We just is
Okay.
Keith Weaver. That gives Fawn and Keith Weaver a little bit of breathing room so they can like remarket, rebrand, and like make a new deal with these group of investors.
Yeah.
But private equity, it's hit or miss.
Yeah, it's very hit or miss because some people what happened with private equity is they buy and then they have a time frame on when they want
Yeah.
to exit and get out of your investment. So sometimes the market is down. Like right now, the whiskey, the cognac, the liquor business, the spirit business in general is down.
Mm.
So this is the terrible time for
To
her to
get
go through and get an investment.
yeah,
But let's say in 5 to 7 years,
it ticks back up.
ticks back up. Now they can exit at a premium, but they got in at a huge discount. So a lot of times private equity come in and then they're gonna strip away all the unnecessary nonsense that's going on in the business.
Right.
They're gonna run y'all on a shoestring budget. They're not gonna reinvest. They're not going to do the things that you need to build the business. They're going to do the things that they need to make this look appeasing to an investor,
So they can
and
make money.
so they can make money. And I mean, that's all they in it for. They don't care about your brand. They don't care about your family. They don't care about any of that.
So what do you think they would come in at? Because now they would be a stakeholder in the company.
Um, so if they come in and buy the company or pay that debt
Buy the
part,
debt,
buy
yeah.
the debt off, what's going to happen is they're going to dilute the shareholders that
Yeah.
are already in. So some of the investors that came in, they're going to get diluted. Vaughn Weaver and her husband, more than likely, they're going to get diluted, and they might be the majority shareholder, and they gonna get the
I was
voting
gonna
rights.
say,
Yeah.
do they come in and get more than 50% of the company?
Even if they don't get 50% of the equity, they can potentially get 50% of the vote,
Mhm.
which is more important than the equity because I can sometimes vote out and vote the way I want. And that control of the company, because it's private, I can kind of do what I want.
Yeah.
And I can
Now it's
push
my
out
company.
I can push out the people, and if I push you out and now I dilute your shares, I do all of this other stuff that now you can be forced to sell your shares.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of stuff that they can do, but because Uncle Nearest is vulnerable right now,
Yeah.
they're gonna come in, even if they don't give up 50% of that equity, they probably have to give up 50% of that vote. And
Mm.
that's real. That now you control the entity, you control the company. You can vote Fawn Weaver out, or you can vote her in. So let's just say, for example, I get control of the company.
Mhm.
I would rather get control of the company first before I get the equity, because now I have equity. It's not like I don't have any equity, but I get
Right.
control, and now I can say, you know what, Fawn Weaver,
I don't
we're
like
gonna
the way.
we're gonna go in a different direction. Oh no, I really need this. It's gonna tank the brand. All right, well, give us an extra 10%. We're gonna dilute you 10% and save the company and
Mm.
let you continue to run it. But we're gonna dilute you 10%. She might do it. You know what I'm saying? That might be a back end deal because they
Yeah.
saved her company from bankruptcy and, you know, going out of business. She might actually do that. So when they have that leverage over your company, you never know what is the best deal you can do. But this is just one of the things when you're a black owned brand, black founder, you don't really have
Mm.
access to the pools of capital
I
to
was
be
gonna
able
say.
to clear this up. Because if she did, why not just pay the stuff off before it hit the blogs, before it hit the
Yeah.
lawsuit?
Yeah.
Because now she can probably pay
Cause
$5 to $6 million
why you?
in legal
Yeah.
fees.
Why you playing with the people money?
Yeah, you can. Y'all
Why
playing with them people money and they not playing.